Heh. And now it's your Vault Keeper's turn to curdle your blood. So come to the Vault of Horrors, fiends. Sit down beside me and I'll narrate another nauseating novelette from my Crawley collection. This little yelp yarn comes to you through the courtesy of Nightmare Mattresses, Inc., makers of the mattress that squelches, screams, and lets you snore with gore. I call this spine tingler Bedtime Gory. Milton undressed slowly, humming to himself. He slid into his pajamas and sat down on the firm mattress of the four-poster bed. He studied the bed's delicate carvings, its gleaming finish. In the next room he could hear Lorna's gentle sobbing. He grinned. Stupid woman. For 5 years I've stepped on her, abused her, hated her, used her to get where I am today. And still she keeps coming back for more. Milton lay back among the soft folds of the four-poster's bedding. He chuckled. Tomorrow I'll have everything. Tomorrow I'll be running the whole show. I always said to be a big man someday. Tomorrow is the day. Lorna's sobbing from the next room stopped. Milton closed his eyes. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow was the day. Milton dozed. It was a comfortable bed at that. Lorna had given it to him. Stupid Lorna. 5 years he'd used her. Now he was through. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Milton was asleep. Milton? Milton? Are you awake? Lorna peered at him with red, tear-filled eyes. She slided across the room. You're asleep, aren't you? Milton? Sound asleep? Nothing bothers you, does it? No conscience, no regrets. Sound asleep, waiting for tomorrow. You'll get what you wanted tomorrow, Milton. What you always wanted. You'll be that big man you always said you'd be. They're going to elect you president of the company tomorrow. President. Lorna reached out and took Milton's limp hand. She stared at it. Remember when we met, Milton? You came to work for us, as our chauffeur. You were young, handsome, ambitious, and I was so blind. We were worlds apart. I was the daughter of a rich man, and you were his servant. But that didn't stop you, did it? You made love to me, proposed to me. Oh, Milton, darling, I'd marry you, if I could. But you know Father wouldn't give his approval. We could elope, get married secretly. Then, after I'd proven my worth to your father, we could tell him. I didn't know then. I didn't know what you really wanted. I was blinded by my love for you. You drove upstate and founded justice of the peace. I pronounce you man and wife. Lorna, darling. Oh, Milton. We were secretly married. Father never knew. He was killed before we could tell him, remember? The accident, Milton? You drove him into town that day. You said the brakes failed on the cliff road. I can't stop her. The brakes. We're going to crash. You were thrown clear of the wreck, but Father was trapped. He died instantly. And suddenly, everything that Father owned was mine. Mine and my husband's. Mine and yours, Milton. This is the break I've needed, Lorna. All my life I've been a nobody, but this is my chance. Milton, how can you talk like that with Father not even cold in his grave? You took over, didn't you, Milton? My father's holdings, his stock in the company. You took complete charge. I'm going to be a big man someday, Lorna. Just wait and see. Oh, Milton. Father had been a minor stockholder in the company, but that wasn't enough for you, was it? You weren't satisfied with that. You wanted it all, the whole thing. You hired detectives. Here is the list of all the stockholders. I want you to investigate every one of them, understand? I want you to get something on each of them. We understand, sir. You started your campaign to gain control. It was dirty. Your hirelings dug deep, wallowing in the filth, bringing it to you. He's married, with a family, sir. Very respected. But he's been having an affair on the side. He's got a chorus girl. Good work, but this only gives me 42%. I'll need more. Keep at it. You went to see your first victim. It was so easy. No, No, my reputation. I'll be ruined. You can't do this. Please, I'll pay you anything. You hold some stock in a certain company. I want it. Sell it to me and I'll remain silent, Mr. Cutler. What could he do? He was trapped. You climbed the first rung towards the top. He turned over his stock to you and you paid him. Paid him with my dead father's money. How could you do it, Milton? It was so unfair, so cheap. I get what I want, Lorna. I get it any way I can. And the dirt came in. Remember the second one? He held less than 4% of the voting stock. A mere pittance. But you wanted it. Nothing would stop you, would it, Milton? How did you find out? It was so long ago. I have ways, Mr. Forbes. It could mean jail for you if I told. Now, you own some shares of stock. You climbed upward, didn't you, Milton? The second rung, 46%. You need 51%. You stepped on them and climbed. How I pitied the third one. He killed himself, Milton. He committed suicide. His widow will do business. She'll have to. So you went to see her. Please don't tell the newspapers. I couldn't face my friends. My family. Then sell me the stock, Miss Staley. That's all I want. 3%. You got 3% from Mr. Staley's widow. You were still short. You still needed 2%, and you were determined to get it. You've got to stop this, Milton. You've got to. Mind your own business, Lorna. I know what I'm doing. And then you found your fourth victim. Your private garbage pickers came with their dirt, and you rubbed your hands in it. All right. Here's your stock. Now get out, you dirty blackmailer. Not blackmail at all, Mr. Berkner. I'm buying these shares. Remember that. Here's your check. So now you had it, Milton. You had your control, and at the next stockholders' meeting, you exploded your bomb. It's as simple as that, gentlemen. I have 52% of the voting stock. I demand the presidency. I remember how fiendishly gleeful you were, Milton, and even though I loved you, I hated you for what you'd done to all those people. I said I'd be a big man, and now I'm going to be. Next week they're going to elect me president of the company. And your dream has finally been fulfilled, eh, Milton? That's right. I was smart. I stepped over the dead wood. I got to the top where I belong. Where would you be if you hadn't married me? If Father hadn't been killed? I'd have gotten there anyway, Lorna. Whatever I did it with a plan. Why do you think I married you? Because you loved me, and I loved you. Ha! Don't make me laugh. Because your old man had dough, and he had that stock. You knew about it? The stock? I came to work for him because of it. Once I worked for the company as a truck driver, I was fired. I swore I'd own it someday. Then you lied to me. You never loved me. I was a step on your ladder. Exactly. And Father, he would have disowned me if he'd found out I'd married you, but he never got the chance. You killed him, didn't you? Figure it out for yourself, Lorna. Remember, the coroner said it was an accident. Then you did kill him. You did. Oh. And I thought I loved you. You do love me, Lorna. If you still love me, that's why you wouldn't tell. Tonight you found the bed in your room, eh, Milton? How annoyed you were. What's this, Lorna? Where's my old bed? I bought this 4-poster for you, Milton, as a present. It's ugly. Send it back. But, Milton, this is a bed befitting a man of your station in life. Look at it. How regal. How rich. Send it back in the morning. Do you hear? Now go to your room. I want to get some sleep. Oh, yes. Tomorrow's a big day in your life, eh, Milton? President of the company. The top. Big man. Get out! Oh! My cheek burned like fire where you slapped it, Milton. I rushed to my room, crying my heart out. I waited until you'd fallen asleep. Milton, Are you awake? Milton opened his eyes. Lorna stood over him. Lorna, I'm tied up. What is this? It's just past midnight, Milton. Today's the day. Milton lay spread-eagled across the four-poster, his wrists and ankles bound securely to a post. Lorna, untie me. What are you doing? You always said you'd be a big man someday, Milton, so I'm going to help you. Lorna began to turn a crank. Somewhere inside the bed, a ratchet clicked. Lorna, for God's sake, you're going to be a big man, Milton. Milton felt his arms pulled, his legs drawn. Lorna, you're mad. Stop. Big man, And then Milton felt the tendons tearing, the muscles snapping, the veins and arteries bursting and hemorrhaging. He screamed. He knew. The ratchet clicked as Lorna turned the crank. It's a stretch rack. Big man. Heh. That's my story, chums. Milty yelled uncle that night, but Lorna kept doom it turning. The crank, that is. Milty sure was a big man when they found him in the morning. He was spread from pillow to post. 4 posts, of course. Some wise guy had a tape measure with him and took a reading. Anybody want to buy a 12-foot-long majority stockholder? Now, I'll turn you back to that bag, the old hag, before she starts to nag. See you next time in the Crypt Keeper's rag. Bye now.